Welcome everybody, welcome to the tomb of illumination. We're going to break down some physics here regarding the sun. So today's video is about the sun, and we're going to compare the sun with the flat earth and the globe model. Okay? Flat earth, sun, suns. So how many suns do we have? Some say one. Well, you only say one because that's the way you've been indoctrinated. That's what they've told you right through your years at school. Who says there's two? Who says the sun is infinite? Well, the ancient Egyptians said that because they have it written that the sun is in many places but only seen in one. Because they knew that man's eyeballs pick up the frequencies and get his own image of the sun. It's not the true sun, it's just an image in the light spectrum within his arc of horizon. And they also had that phrase, man's arc of horizon. So if some people think there's one sun, or some people think there's two suns, why would you think there's two suns? Because we've got two hemispheres? There could be two systems, or one system that may be mirrored. Or if you think there's an infinite amount of suns, then you're all right. Because there's another trinity in our system. Just like the Gleason map, the Mercator map, and the globe are all three systems. We cannot focus on one of them. But you can surely focus on the fact that you'd have to be a loony to think you live on the outside of a spinning ball called a globe. Just like you can't live on a flat piece of paper called a Mercator map or a Gleason map. You've got to understand the whole three as one. So we're going to talk about the sun. So, where are we told the sun is? Well, some people tell us that the sun's 93 million miles away. But the funny thing is, the same people tell us that the sun is between the tropics here. Moves between the tropics. That's rather convenient, isn't it? Considering the sun's 93 million miles away, and we're just seeing it in the tropics. With the tilting of the earth over the season, the declination, it only moves from there to there. 93 million miles away, and the sun's just here. Well, they're pulling your leg, because they know the sun is created in this gap. And I'm going to explain it all to you, okay? It's all about magnetic induction. Now, another lie of the globe is that they tell you the magnetic field comes out of the south and flows all the way around to the north. Yet, at the same breath, they tell you that there's no up and down on the globe, out there in La La Land. If there's no up and down, then this magnetic field would randomly go into the ball, wouldn't it? I mean, the iron core is supposed to be in the centre, isn't it? Why would it go all the way up there when there's no up and down? That would be like chaos, random. See, it doesn't make sense. It's all garbage. They know the sun's in here because they understand the magnetic induction. And how do we get that magnetic induction? Now you need to go online and check out the meteorology as to winds on the earth. Look what's happening. It's all being drawn from the polar regions around like this. You can do it like this with the globe model. It all goes to the Tropic of Capricorn on this south side, and it all swings around from the north on the North Pole side. Okay? Why is it doing that? What's happening at this point? And what's something else that the ancient Egyptians told us? They told us the magnetic field does not cross the tropics. Is that what I was looking for? The magnetic field does not cross the tropics. That's a huge lie. There's another lie. And that is the fact that the magnetic field does come out here, but it also comes out of here. It comes out of both poles. Not to mention the fact that the whole globe is a lie. So let's go back to the tropics here. So you've got the wind coming in here like this. That's That's what I was looking for. The Egyptians told us the magnetic field is in the wind. The magnetic field is going to here. That's a bit strange. What's it doing only going to there? Well, it's just like we know here on Earth. Magnetic induction, the three-phase induction motor. What happens? Why has it got a gap? Well, it's the same system. This is creation. We replicate creation down here on Earth in the physical realm. We understand all this magnetic induction, what's going on here, but they're just lying to you with this globe idea. Let's go over here to the true model. This is the side elevation. Okay? There's the plan elevation. This is one thing you have to understand. Everything expands from the north to the south, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to understand the concept of our flat earth looking like this. All that in there is the centre northern hemisphere. Okay, that's the curving magnetic field lines. If you know anything about celestial navigation, they call that the spider web. Funny that. So you've got the magnetic field coming out of the centre north to the Tropic of Cancer, and we've got the magnetic fields coming out of here all the way around here in infinite cycles from the south to the Tropic of Capricorn. Just like a sea anemone. It's all in nature. The magnetic field does not cross the tropics. This is why we have a compass setting that'll take us on a direct route, because the compass, the magnetic field is built up on this barrier, on this metaphysical capacitor plate, and on this metaphysical capacitor plate. And what happens is the magnetic field comes out of the north, comes out to Cancer, goes straight down to the ground, and along the ground it shall go. Up over here to Capricorn, straight down to the ground, along the ground thou shalt go back up again to do the cycle. That's the infinity cycle. Where do you think that came from? So, through this magnetic induction, it creates the sun, or the sun's energy, I should say, because the true sun's not there either. But let's just stick to that for now, okay, because there is three models you have to consider when you want to understand the sun of Earth. So this is one way of describing it. It's being created in there. The energy has been created between the two capacitor plates. So you've got like a monopole here, there's a north magnet there, and you've got a magnet here, say. That's the monopole of the south. But because we've got this moving magnetic field, it's creating a change, right? So a changing magnetic field creates this electrical current here. Okay? And because the sun moves around the earth, a moving electrical current creates a changing magnetic field. So one is feeding the other. We know this in physics. You can't debunk it. You can't lie about this. We know this. Okay? So there's your system. Okay? Now you need to understand this sun we see moving across our horizon. We see it over our horizon. But back in creation, we are at the centre of the universe. Your scientists will tell you this, your physicists will. Look, we're at the centre of the universe looking out. But this is creation right in here looking out across a 2D plane. But we're in the created realm, so it becomes perpendicular or 90 degrees to it. So instead of seeing things go around us like this, we see them go over us like this. And we're standing right here in the centre. 90 degrees to zenith. This is what Euclidean geometry is all about. Okay? That's another long story. So, where am I going with that? Let's go back here. So, the sun. So we see the sun moving over her horizon, that's right. But in actual fact, it's going around the earth like this. That is one concept. And that sun we see there is at the end of the Milky Way, which comes over, right over to the centre north. And the other end of the Milky Way comes out of the centre north, straight up. There's two ends to it, a male end and a female end. And this energy, this electromagnetic induction being created here by the two poles, feeds up, gets sucked through into here, this Milky Way. It's what creates the Milky Way, the helix. It goes over and feeds the pure plasma. That's the one and only sun of creation, the pure plasma that we do not see. It's outside of our realm. This area is outside of our physical realm, like a bagel or a donut, in there. Okay? So the true sun is there. It's not out here. That's just an image we see in our realm, which is due to the light spectrum. Okay? Now, we have to move on to the other model we have to consider. Is the sun's not really there to us at all. It actually comes out of here and moves around over man's arc of horizon in the southern hemisphere to go right round and go back in there like this. Just as it's doing the same thing here. It comes around here, goes over his horizon midday and spins around back into there like that. Because that point is this point here. And this point is turning. And because we live in this curved realm, this is how we're getting this effect. It's projected out, sending out the image, say here, like a clock arm from the centre of the clock out to the hand, invisible clock arm. All we see is the hand, which is the sun. So as this turns, the sun turns. So the sun is turning in the northern hemisphere like this. But all around the south here is a mirrored image. Because of this concavity. Earth's magnetic field creates a mirror, a holographic projected returning image back to the viewer. Seen there. So whenever the sun spirals out of the north, because that's what it's doing, it's going to be a bit hard to explain to people. You just got to go with me on that one, because I'm blowing that image up. But it's basically, you're there, you're the man, there's your arc of horizon basically. The sun, you don't see the whole 24-hour day, do you? But the sun is basically coming around into your horizon, out of your horizon, and everything goes like that once it's done its course behind the observer. It's always on the other side of the system, okay? So the sun would be aiming this way. That's a bit deep trying to explain that. The whole thing's complicated, I know. It's just the way it is. But you need to understand the truth, because once you understand the truth, you connect yourself with the earth and know how humans are connected with the earth. And then you get to understand the spiritual side of your existence, the Trinity, the third entity. Understanding the duality takes you to the third entity. This is what I'm alluding to. And in time, it'll all be explained. Okay, so we have a dual system, the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. The centre northern hemisphere is the main source, because it's a projection. The stars anyway are straight up out of the centre, straight out of creation. But due to this reflection here and this parabolic field, magnetic field of the earth, the toroidal field, this comes down and is inverted. With the same stars inverted, expanded, stretched apart and back to front. So, northern hemisphere sun, so he sees the sun, he's got the Milky Way coming over to here like this, out of the north over to there. But in the south we have the Milky Way. Did I call it the Milky Way? The Milky Way, yes. The Milky Way comes around and spirals into there like that. There's two Milky Ways. Okay? Anyone can suss this out. In the northern hemisphere, There's the celestial equator, and in the south we have another sun and a lemma. That's the feet, on the banks of the Jordan in religion. Why are they back to front? Anybody can film them. There's two systems. They're following the sun out of the north in their system, and they follow the sun out of the south in our system. But it's infinite. This sun is infinite. You could have an infinite line all the way around here. Why? Because it's all projected from this dead centre. So there's always an image. 24/7. Just depending on where the lighthouse is pointing. The sun is pointing at that time of the day as to where it's going to be on man's arc of horizon. Comes up in the east, over and disappears in the west. Nothing goes below the horizon. It goes up and over man's arc of horizon. As the Milky Way turns away from us, it takes the light away from us. The light dims and goes out. Okay, so bear this in mind. It's all to do with the bend in the Milky Way. Shaped like a boomerang. Check out my other videos. The kneecap and the iliad. Or the boomerang according to the Aborigines. And the sun is projected out of there. This is the Milky Way we see at night. Because the sun is facing the other way, we're going to see the dark side. This is Sagittarius A. Yes, the black hole's there too, because the sun shines across the black hole. Here's the sun, it shines across the hole. It's daylight. Okay? So you've got the two systems in each hemisphere. Always an image reflected out here. Everybody sees a star rotation because it's an image from the stars in here. If the stars are up there, they're swung down over to here. All centralized, just like a clock. Okay? You can't hide the fact how a clock works. It makes sense on a flat earth realm. But we are part of this magnetic flux. We're inside this system. We can't get out. NASA's lying to you. We can't leave the magnetic flux. We're part of it. We are light beings in this electromagnetic realm. If there's no electromagnetic field out here, we don't exist. Nothing exists outside this area. Okay? Atmosphere. Atmospheric layers are the firmament. Different gaseous gradient pressure zones. Can't get out. So there's a couple of systems. Now you've got to concentrate on man's arc of horizon. He sees the sun come up, go over his horizon, and go down in the west. His personal arc of horizon. Standing 90 degrees to zenith at all times. Wherever he moves, his arc moves with him. Okay? So the sun is always coming back to him, perpendicular from the dome. Perpendicular. Delve deep into Euclidean geometry. Perpendicular. Seems to be a favourite word over there. Perpendicular. Okay, so this all relates to celestial navigation. Try to tell us we can't do it on a flat earth. Everybody did it on a flat earth a couple hundred years ago. All of a sudden, they're pushing the globe idea and we can't do it on a flat earth anymore. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, okay. So there you have it. I've exposed their lies. Go and query. Your science teachers are parrots. You want to tell your teenagers, tell your young children, they're lying to you. They're blatantly lying to you. The magnetic field does not cross the tropics. This is why we follow a curving magnetic field if we have a compass setting, okay? But between the tropics, it's dead straight. There's no curving field. You don't take a long journey. It's dead straight between the tropics. It's curved here. you'll get a compass bearing here because the compass, the magnetic field is built up here. It's strong on both sides. Obviously strong on this side because more compact and condensed. It's the stronger field. It's the center of the hyperboloid. It's the core. It's the creation spot. All the energy comes out of here. But like a toroidal field, it becomes inverse, being recycled, inverted. It's always being recycled. Like this. So there you have it. This is why we have the doldrums near the equator, dead calm. Realise that all this magnetic field out here in the south is the same amount of energy as there is in this small centre north. But it's not really a small centre north. It's just it's all relative to the observer. So no one ever knows that. This is just a planned view. If you were to look at it overall, if you were God and you could look down on it, that's what it would look like. Little old northern hemisphere, expanded southern hemisphere. But all the energy out here, just like they teach in science actually, the south is the same as north, but they don't explain this, how it is a 3:2 ratio, just like we have in the, you know, they lie to you about the sun's analemma too. You know, it's basically a 3:2 ratio. It's close enough, but it's all related to phi. 3.2. What does that equal? That equals 5. What does 5 sound like phi? Okay? It's all in here. It's in Euclidean geometry. It's part of the, it's connected to Euclid's 5 postulates. 4 postulates lead to the 5th. All roads lead to Rome. There's another story. The Roman creation story. Why is there a brother ruling this side and a brother ruling this side? Because they knew it was separated, and then at the end of the story they're bringing them back, uniting them again. It's about the separation. Most of you have probably heard the story. 1 minute. Couple of minutes. They heard the story of the earth separating from the ground to the sky, is separated by Newt and Shu. Shu standing there with his arms out wide, holding up the sky. There's his head. You've heard that story, but nobody's told about the separating system, the split cell of the North Pole to the south. Plenty of stories in the mythological legends explaining all that. Okay, so knowing that the magnetic field does not cross the tropics, so that this is a lie. They both come out. Both fields come out of the south and out of the north. And they dip down at the tropics. The flip sides. It's a changing magnetic field that creates the magnetic induction. You can't debunk that either. This is all fact. So you want to go and discuss this with your science teachers, your headmasters, your lying physicists and scientists are all online, all on YouTube, telling lies to your children. Okay? Any questions, just let me know. Check out my Patreon page. A lot of this information is over there. And I'm quite happy to answer any comments. Just don't come to me acting like a dummy, an ignorant globie with all this indoctrination, and there's no other system that you know. You don't know anything until you know it, okay? So take this in, think about it, then ask some questions. Use this thing up here, this side actually, the right side, okay? Put a thumbs up if you like this sort of thing. Jump on my Patreon and subscribe, and don't forget to share this stuff. Otherwise people are never going to know it. You're never going to be taught it, because the Freemasons control everything, and they control NASA. Guess how much money they give NASA, which goes back into the pockets of you-know-who.